was ridiculous. It's the first time that I saw someone in government just be that. I mean, it's not the first time somebody in government lied, of course, but just someone with his character and the extent that he went, it was just unbelievable. Let's go ahead and check out all of the lies George Santos told. Here we go. So, George Santos was, as we know, expelled from Congress following a brutal report from the House Ethics Committee accusing him of defrauding donors and enriching himself with his campaign. George also faced a slew of federal charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, theft of public funds, and lying to Congress. George wasn't quite who he presented himself to be. It's been hard to track down exactly what was true about George's life story. Is he broke or rich? Jewish or Catholic? Did his family members really die in the Holocaust? Or on September 11th, he allegedly lied to donors, then used their money to make purchases at Hermes and OnlyFans. Federal prosecutors accused George of defrauding political supporters while running for Congress. According to the indictment, George instructed a Queens-based political consultant to tell potential donors that their money would be used to help elect him to the House. Two people gave $25,000 each to Redstone Strategies, an LLC operated by George Santos. George allegedly laundered the money through two personal accounts, then used it for his personal benefit, including to make cash withdrawals, personal purchases of luxury designer clothing, credit card payments, a car payment, and payments on personal debts, and bank transfers to his associates. After the $50,000 from Redstone was deposited into his personal account, the funds were used, amongst other things, to pay down personal credit card bills and debt. He also used the money for Sephora, meals, and parking. Congressional investigators say Santos made a habit of covering personal expenses with campaign funds without telling the donors or the FEC where the money was really going. This included significant travel expenses for flights, hotels, Ubers. When a staffer raised concerns with George, he said that he was dining with donors and constituents, but lavish trips to Atlantic City and the Hamptons were not reported properly and did not correspond with any known campaign activities. The campaign credit card shows taxi and hotel charges in Las Vegas in December 2021, during a time when Representative George Santos had told his campaign staff that he was on his honeymoon and there were no corresponding campaign events on his calendar. Congressional investigators also found that the campaign funds were used several times on Botox treatments. George was accused of fraudulently collecting more than $24,000 in unemployment benefits. He allegedly applied to receive unemployment benefits in June 2020 after the program was expanded to help people out of work due to the pandemic. At the time, he was employed as a regional director of a Florida-based investment firm, earning an annual salary of around $120,000. From that point until April 2021, when George was working and receiving a salary on a near continuous basis, and during his unsuccessful run for Congress, he falsely affirmed each week that he was eligible for said yes. The friend came forward, informing the feds that it was actually George who taught him how to skim credit cards. George taught me how to skim card information and how to clone cards, he said. And he gave me all the materials and taught me how to put skimming devices and cameras on ATM machines. George's campaign bio claimed that he ran a foundation called Friends of Pets United, saving 2,500 dogs and cats between 2013 and 2018, but there were no social media accounts for the organization, no IRS records, and no evidence of the charity ever being registered in New York or New Jersey, where George claimed to have operated. Friends of Pets held one fundraiser with the rescue group in New Jersey in 2017, for which he charged a $50 entry, but the group that threw the event said that it never received any funds, and that George made up several excuses for why he didn't have the money. George would take checks written into his charity and then cash them out under a pseudonym, Anthony DeVolder. George also allegedly stole money from a disabled veteran who came to help him fund a life-saving surgery for his dog. In May 2016, Richard, who was living in a tent in central New Jersey, learned that his bit mix would need a $3,000 surgery. A vet tech told him that a man named Anthony DeVolder could help him raise the funds. After Friends of Pets United put together a GoFundMe that got the money for the surgery, George then refused to give the money to the guy whose dog ended up dying less than a year later. His campaign bio also discussed his husband, with whom he lives in Long Island along with his 4 dogs, but George has never appeared on the campaign trail with this partner. In 2019, however, George did divorce a woman in Queens, but he said, "I'm very much gay. I'm okay with my sexuality. People change. I'm one of the people who change." The first marriage lasted from 2012 to 2019, according to their marriage license and divorce records. In 2014, 5 years before his divorce from the woman, George sent Facebook invites to friends celebrating an engagement dinner with his boyfriend at the time. George's former boyfriend said that the party never happened because he did not say yes to the proposal. In July 2021, George wrote on Twitter that the September 11 attacks claimed my mother's life. On December 23rd, 2021, he said it was the 5th anniversary of my mother's passing, a loss confirmed by her obituary. On his campaign website, George claimed that his mother was in her office in the South Tower on September 11th and that she passed away a few years later when she lost her battle to cancer. Aside from the fact that people rarely refer to 15 years as a few years, there is no record of George's mother ever suffering from the well-documented health problems caused by the attacks in the World Trade Center, or the toxic debris that followed the attacks. There is also no evidence that she was ever at the World Trade Center on September 11th, and though George has claimed that she was a finance executive, public employment records list her only known employer as an imports business in Queens that folded in 1994. Weeks after George's lies were made public, 2 genealogists found documents showing that his mother was actually in Brazil on September 11th. In an interview with the Conservative podcast in May 2022, George said that his grandparents survived the Holocaust, and his campaign bio claimed that they fled persecution during World War II. For a lot of people who are descendants of World War II refugees or survivors of the Holocaust, a lot of names and paperwork were changed in the name of survival, he said. According to records, there is no sign of Jewish or Ukrainian heritage, and no indication of name changes along the way. Multiple family records show that George's maternal grandparents were born in Brazil. she did not, but he said that she was a target of an assassination. This is literally insane. I feel it's one thing to make up lies about things that don't really matter, but then when you talk about the Holocaust or 9/11, it's so disgusting to people who actually went through that and had family connections. It's like, how low did he go? And I wonder what his future will look like. Is he able to get a job? Does he work? Would anybody ever trust him? I doubt it. He is like such a deceptive person. The fact that he was so bold to like go to the house of Laura and tell these lies and